This is a quick preview of the Diff functionality coming to the Configures Data UIs. To start us off, we'll be creating a new deployment using the simple namespace. The name of the deployment is going to be called Backend3. Let's go ahead and do that now. And immediately, just like before, we're going to be rolled into the new deployment, Backend3, and it's under draft status, so we'll be able to make changes to it. Before we do anything, let's go ahead and compare this to the upstream. So let's see what's changed, what resources have been updated since it's been created from the blueprint. So immediately, as we can see, almost nearly every resource has been updated. So let's go ahead and look at the kep file. As we can see here, okay, this is expected. As we see that the name of the kep file has been updated to backend3 from simple namespace. And we can also see that an upstream to the blueprint, simple namespace, revision v1 has been added as well. And if we wish, this is true with all the resources, we can look at the YAML view to see the exact changes as well on the YAML side. And going further down, just as we expect, we should see the namespace has been updated. The name has been updated from example to backend3. And going down the rest of the resources is we can see resource quota, namespace has been updated. Config map, we can see the data has been updated, that is expected. And the role binding with the apply replacements, we should see that the group has been updated from example.admin to backend3.admin, as well as the namespace. So all that looks good. So let's go ahead and propose and approve this revision. And coming down to compare revision, we can actually just leave it as is. Let's take a second look at this role binding real quick. As we can see that's associated with the group to the backend3.admin. Let's go ahead and change that to a service account just for this deployment. So to do that, I'm going to be creating a new revision. And right now, whenever I do that, the compare revision dropdown always resets. So let's compare this to the previous revision. And we can see that a diff column has been added. There's been no diffs detected, and that's expected. We just created a new revision. We haven't made any changes, so we shouldn't see any updates. So that's accurate. Now let's go ahead and move forward with updating the role binding to be associated to a service account rather than a group. So before we update the role binding itself, let's go ahead and create a service account. Let's call this app admin. We can see that this resource has been added. Let's update the role binding. The subject, let's go ahead and delete the subject. We'll add a new one. So we deleted the group, and we're going to be adding the service account. This will be listing all the service accounts within this package, app admin. It's the only one, so let's go ahead and select that, save this. So we can see that look in the diff column, we can see that this resource has been updated. With the diff there, we'll look at the diff shortly. Apply replacements, that was just for the group only, updating the group within the role binding. Since we've removed the group, replace it with the service account, we no longer need this resource. Let's go ahead and delete this. And the kep file has a mutator for apply replacements. Let's go ahead and remove this mutator as well, since we just no longer need it, and we also deleted the resource as well. Just go ahead and delete this. Okay, we can see that there's been a number of resources updated. If we want, we can actually look at the diffs here. Let's do this with the role binding. So with the role binding, we can see, okay, the group, the backend3.admin at bigco.com group has been removed and replaced with the service account app admin. Let's look at the YAML. Okay, this all looks good. And looking down, we can see the service account has been added, as well as the apply replacements has been removed. So all that looks good. Let's go ahead and save this. Let's propose this. And as a reviewer coming in, again, I can select the previous revision from the compare revision dropdown, and I can absolutely view these changes again. So we've already seen some of these changes, so there shouldn't be any surprises here. We do see with the kep file it does show that there's been one line added in addition to the 3 removed. So let's take a closer look at this. Taking a look at the format view, I can see the apply replacements mutator has been removed. That looks great. Let's look at the YAML view to see what else has changed. Okay, and just scrolling to the bottom first, mutator, it's been removed, so that looks good. And then the annotations, we can see that the double quote has been changed to a single quote, so we'll let that by. Let's close this, approve this package. And we now have the second revision of this package, which uses the service account within the rule binding. If we get to the revisions tab, which shows all the revisions of the deployment or the selected package, we can see just a quick summary of changes with each revision. The first revision, so the changes summary column, it always lists out the summary of the changes to the number of resources added, removed, or updated from the previous revision. So the first revision is always the base revision as far as the changes summary column goes. And the second revision, whenever we look at it, we can see, which this is expected since we did add the service account, we updated the role binding in the kept file, and we removed the apply replacements resource. So this is expected. This looks good. And this actually sums it up for the demo showing Diff. It says it'll be landing in the Configures Data UI. We'll be cutting a release within the next day, and we'll be continuously adding features to the UI over the next few weeks, and we'll be recording more videos. Thank you.